So we're here in the majestic redwoods of Northern California, and I'm sitting here with Colt Briner and Brian Weller, who's joining me today to talk about their initiative, Rad Creative. So, Brian, you talk a lot about creativity in your work, in your life. Are there any instances that you can or would like to share about some early experiences with any of that?
Yes. I remember one particular instance. This is taking me back a few years. I was about 11 and a half years of age, and I was a principal soloist.
A few years. Not to say, carry on, sorry.
So I was a principal... Thank you. I was a principal soloist at the Royal School of Church Music in England, and I was auditioned by a man called Benjamin Britten, who's probably one of the greatest, now he's now dead, but one of the greatest composers probably certainly the 20th century, maybe of all time. And he chose me to be a principal soloist in his opera called Noah's Flood. This was to be the world premiere at the Albury Festival in 1957-58. And so I was there with, it was the other members of the group. It was called the English Opera Group. Anyway, one day we're rehearsing in this rehearsal hall near Albury, which is on the east coast of England, and we had a full orchestra there. It was rehearsal time, with months of rehearsing, and Benjamin Britten got particularly frustrated. You see, the beginning of the flood, the story of Noah's flood, is when the rain starts to come, right? He couldn't get that sound. He couldn't get that sound from the timpani or even from the strings. He said, okay, take a break. And he just left. And he came back about an hour later. And he told me later, he said, I walked along the shingle beach of Albury. There's lots of antique shops and old worldly places. And he suddenly hit upon it. When he walked into his antique shop, somebody just happened to pick up a cup and ding, we've all done that.
Sure.
He bought 8 cups that he, with his perfect ear, had listened to the sound. He brought them to the rehearsal space, got a piece of string, tied them on, and looped them like a clothesline between two. He just knocked together some pieces of wood, made a frame. Ding, 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 ding. And I thought, my God. And I remember looking back at that, thinking back to that time, that was an act of pure radical creativity. And then when the opera came and it was filmed and all of that, that was one of the masterworks. It was one of the insights. And so this was one of my first experiences of radical creativity, that it's possible when faced with a challenge or an opportunity that one can basically step into a whole new place and, and do something extraordinary, out of convention. And we were talking earlier just about the invention of this, right? This is the amazing technology we call Velcro. But where did it come from? Where did it come from, actually?
I believe it was inspired by nature somehow, but I don't. Oh, some people think aliens brought it. But
Yeah. My money's there.
Sure.
But actually, it was inspired by nature. We get these birds on our clothes, which pretty much everyone hates when they're trying to get home. And,
right.
And some guy thought, you know what, this is amazing. How do these things stick? Right? And that's how Velcro was born. And now, this is something we cover in the seminar, and it's the whole field of what's known as biomimicry. Biomimicry. It means mimicking nature, mimicking the biology, right? How does nature do what it does? What can we learn from nature? And this is a very central theme in our seminar. We are part of the natural world. We're partners with the natural world. We're not here to dominate it. We're here to basically partner with it. We have so much to learn. And the first thing we've got to learn is to stop destroying, species by their hundreds and thousands almost on a daily basis, because nature has secrets. And more importantly, or as importantly, our own nature has secrets.
Sure.
Right? And interestingly enough, it's how the brain creates its what's called neural networks. These are due to the way that neurons in the brain connect up as networks, very much the same way as
The redwoods.
the redwoods
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
do. Trees, the mycelium web of mushrooms and the root systems.
Yeah.
Right? So under the surface, we have this extraordinary network of nourishment and possibility and connectivity. And guess what? We have it inside our own skulls. And we have it between ourselves now. I mean, in a way, if you think about it, the World Wide Web is what? It's just another form of nature's mycelium web, right? Which are the biggest structures. I mean, some of these mycelium go for hundreds of miles, right? So whether we like it or not, whether we know it or not, we're in this grand partnership, what we call civilization. It's this grand experiment in being radically creative. And nature is really the inspiration, I would say, for pretty much everything that we're doing.
Well, it's been at work at it for billions of years. It's probably got a few things for us to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, from redwoods to Oahu, hopefully we will all be chatting very, very soon. So thank you guys so much for your time today. It's been a great honor. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Julie.